Okay, welcome to another Made in China, and today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new BittBoy. This is the all new BittBoy, although it just says BittBoy on the box. Now if you don't know what a BittBoy is, it's a little handheld device that plays an awful lot of games very well. Now on the back of the box, as you can see, it says it plays NES, Famicom, Game Boy Color and Game Boy. Believe me, this plays a lot more than that. It has a headphone jack, you can save games, it's got a 2.4-inch IPS screen, which is very nice, extremely sharp. Full screen, original resolution display, whatever that might mean. Screen brightness adjustment, well, maybe in software. 700 milliamp rechargeable lithium battery. Battery life of 2 to 3 hours, which I can confirm is true, and TV out. So what do you get in the box? Well, let's take a look. I've already opened it. You get the actual BittBoy itself that comes in this cute little bag. Very nice. And there it is. The BittBoy is tiny, so we'll take a better look at that in a moment. We also get an instruction sheet, which is basically just copied from the website. Now, I don't know if you buy this, you'll actually get this type of sheet with it. My BittBoy came direct from BittBoy themselves. They actually gave me this unit, so a big shout out to them and a big thank you. So you get that, and you get a little box of goodies. Inside this box we have the cables. We have a stereo TV out cable. So hopefully we can get stereo sound through the TV. I know you do get stereo sound using headphones. And we also have the micro USB to USB adapter to charge the device. And you can also transfer ROMs onto the SD card using this. Talking about SD card, the machine did come with this USB to SD card and micro SD card adapter, and it did come with an SD card with the firmware on it. So thank you very much for that. It's an 8 gigabyte SanDisk SD card. So that's quite nice of them. Okay, so taking a look at the BittBoy itself. Well, we can see it's got 4 face buttons, which feel rather nice. A reset button. We have the D-pad here, pretty good D-pad. Start and select. On the back we've got nothing, just the battery cover. On the bottom we've got the TV out, also doubles as the headphone jack. We got the micro USB in, and at the top we got the micro SD card slot and the power button. And as you can see, the screen is really nice on this thing. Lovely and crisp, great viewing angles. I really can't complain about the screen. The screen is lovely. Okay, so what I'm going to do is change the camera angle and we'll take a better look at this up close. So here we are a little bit closer to the machine, so let's take a look through the menus. Now to select the different menus, you use these black buttons here. See, at the moment we're in the emulator section. Here we have built-in games such as Doom, Digger, Mr. Driller, and there's the awesome, where is it? Streets of Rage remake. Oh yes, that is lovely down there. We got some options there. You can change the skin color, the text size, the background. You can do all sorts of stuff, fully customizable. And here we got some other utilities such as a file commander, a music player, some sort of writing program, and a browser. Not a browser for the internet, basically just browse files on the SD card. Okay, so what you're mostly interested in, I bet, are the emulators. What emulators do we have? Well, we have DOSBox, we have NES, we got Game Boy and Game Boy Color, we got Neo Geo, we got Game Boy Advance, we've got MAME, we've got Game Boy and Game Boy Color again. Okay, we've got Arcade here, which is basically open Beats of Rage. We got PlayStation, yes, you can play PlayStation games on here. We got Sega Mega Drive. That also means you can play Mega CD games and 32X games. Oh, 32X games don't work too well. Sega Master System. We've also got Game Gear support there. We've got SNES, Super Famicom, and we've got PC Engine as well. And also PC Engine CD games will run. So as you can see, this thing plays a lot of stuff. But how well does it play them? Well, let's start off with some Neo Geo. So what you do is you go into the emulator like this. And you can see the emulator loads up pretty quick. And let's load up a game. I've only got 2 Neo Geo ROMs on here at the moment. King of Fighters 95 and King of Fighters 98. Let's go for King of Fighters 95. Now unfortunately the Neo Geo ROMs do take a while to load. But you do get this lovely little water animation filling up the emulator's logo right there while you're waiting. Now, one thing I can't figure out on this device is how do you increase the volume from the speaker, the built-in speaker, because there's no volume control on it. So there must be some sort of button combination or some sort of software that allows you to increase and decrease the volume. What that is, I don't know. I can't work it out. Okay, so far so good. Now, quite often Neo Geo emulation can be a bit hit and miss, but on this device, it is pretty much spot on. Alright, so I'm going to be playing this on an angle, so it's a little bit awkward for me. But it'll give you a quick idea of how good the emulation is. How do we start here? Here we go. Okay, I'm going to attempt to do some special moves now. So let me get myself into a better position. Right, that's kick. Okay, here we go. Yeah, the D-pad is really good, but I'm playing this on a weird angle, so it is kind of difficult to get anything out. But as you can see, the speed is perfect, the sound is perfect, and I don't see any screen tearing whatsoever. So Neo Geo emulation is very good on this device. Okay, let's take a look at another format. Very easy to do. We press the reset button here, and we exit the emulator. By the way, all these emulators do allow you to do save states and so on. Alright, let's take a look at Game Boy Advance. How well is that emulated on this device? So as you can see, the Game Boy Advance emulation actually puts it in this little screen in the middle of a screen. It's kind of interesting. But we can change that by going to the options. I think we press the reset button to get to the options. And here you can see we've got lots of different options, including cheat menus. So graphics options, let's see. Display, unscaled, scaled, full screen. Let's try and go with full screen. Screen filtering, yes or no. We'll turn them off. Frame skip, automatic. Not that we need it, I don't think. Okay, let's go back to the game. Alright, full screen. Seems to run Game Boy Advance games just perfectly, no problems whatsoever. Lovely stuff. Okay, let's take a look at another format. Again, exiting the emulator and going to another emulator is very easy. Alright, let's get out of that. Let's check out some MAME action. How good is MAME on this? Okay, we've got MAME for all here. Let's see, a bit of Captain Commando. I'll tell you what, we'll do a bit of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Can't go wrong with a bit of turtle action, can you? Again, fully customizable. There's loads of options there, so if the game doesn't run, you can change some settings and hopefully you'll get it to run that way. Now of course this machine uses standard MAME ROMs, so you can put all your MAME ROMs on here. Not that it's going to play all of them, mind you, because it's obviously not using the latest version of MAME. So don't be expecting to play any of the 3D games on here. But a lot of the 80s classics and early 90s stuff should work just fine. So your Capcom CPS 1 and 2 games should have no problems running on this. Although I doubt you're going to be able to play Street Fighter because you've only got 4 buttons. Talking about Capcom CPS, let's try a Capcom CPS game. Let's see what we got. Punisher. Ah, there's Ghouls and Ghosts. Let's give that a try. Alright, there we go. We've got jump there and fire there. Whoops. But yeah, seems to be working just fine. Except my game playing skills aren't that good. Alright, let's exit out of that. Alright, so you want to see what PlayStation runs like on this, don't you? Well, let's take a look. Alright, PlayStation ROMs are in here. I've got 2 on here, Castlevania Symphony of the Night and Jumping Flash 2. Let's start off with Jumping Flash 2. Okay, it's booting up and I've got the frames per second switched on here. So we can see how many frames this is running at. Oh, have I? No, I've switched them off. Sorry about that. Okay, well, the title screen's working. And the FMV sections are working. And Jumping Flash 2 has crashed. Okay, so it doesn't seem to play Jumping Flash 2. Let's see if we could just run through the opening demo and see if that's going to play. Maybe it's a bad dump. No, it doesn't seem that Jumping Flash 2 works. Could be a bad dump, maybe. Okay, let's try a different PlayStation game and see if that works. Okay, here we go with Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Let's see if this one runs. Yep, seems to be working. Skip the intro. Alright, the music's a little bit juddery, but you can see it's running 56, 61 frames per second down there. So maybe if we turn off the frame skipping, make it a smoother experience. Oh, the English version's terrible. Okay, I don't think turning off the frame skipping was a good idea. Let's switch that back on. Oops. Yeah, so I think with PlayStation, it's going to depend on the game. Some games may run, some games may not, some may run good, some may run poorly. So I think if you've got a game that isn't very intense, then that's probably going to work pretty well. Okay, let's take a look at another emulator. Okay, let's take a look at Sega Mega Drive. How well does that work? Well, first of all, let's see if it plays Mega CD games. Got Sylpheed here, will it play it? Yes, it does. It seems to be playing Sylpheed absolutely perfectly. Look how smooth that is. Okay, let's get into the actual game. Yep, works. Okay, so your BittBoy will play Mega CD games. Very nice. Okay, let's see if it plays more demanding Mega Drive games, such as Virtual Racing. Now that will be a good test. Yes, it's loaded Virtual Racing. Now normally these devices never play Virtual Racing, so this is a good sign. Works just perfectly. Okay, let's see if the actual game works. Yep, not a problem. Okay, now normally Mega Drive emulation has issues with sound. So let's check out a game which is known for having good sound and difficult to emulate. There we go. Whoops. Streets of Rage 2. What I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the sound up directly by taking a look at this game through the video capture card using the TV out. Alright, PC Engine. PC Engine is a very popular format, and I'm sure a lot of you want to know, will it play PC Engine games correctly? Well, let's first take a look at a PC Engine CD-ROM game and see if it runs that. No screen tearing, no jerkiness, just pure PC Engine CD-ROM fun. Oh, and me dying as well. Good old Splatterhouse. Ah, it's the American version. Where's my button? There it is. Okay, let's take a look at the Super Nintendo. Now normally Super Nintendo is a little bit demanding on these type of devices, so how's it going to fare here? Oops, let's take a look. Alright, SNES games, where are the games? There we go, oops. Alright, let's start off with a normal game. Mega Man X10. I always seem to choose that one, don't I? So yeah, tell you what, let's put Street Fighter 2 Turbo on instead. It works. Sound is extremely low because I have no idea how to turn the volume up on this thing. But it's working. Let's get into the game. Now, of course, the buttons are all configurable. You can change the screen size and everything like that. All these emulators on this machine are fully configurable. I'm playing this on a weird angle, so let's see if we can get a move out. Nope. But I'm happy to say the speed seems to be okay. And I'm dead. Alright, let's check out another game. Ooh, that's a bit jerky. Oh, that is not good. Alright, so Mega Drive and PC Engine are perfectly fine. Super Nintendo, not so. Yeah, that is quite choppy, isn't it? So let's get into the options and see what we can change to fix that. Okay, let's see. Transparency is off or on. Well, they're off for some reason. Full screen, false or true. Frame skip auto, sound rate. It's already pretty low. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to salvage that much, are we? That doesn't seem to be too good. Okay, well, it seems like Super Nintendo emulation is not that good. Maybe we can put a different emulator onto this thing, because it seems to run on the Dingu operating system, so I'm sure there's a better emulator out there for Super Nintendo. The one that comes with the machine is not that good. Alright, let's take a look at some of the other functions of this machine, excluding emulation. Okay, so one thing I want to take a look at is that Streets of Rage remake, because this is really cool on a PC. Let's see what it's like on the BittBoy. Bomber games, good old bomber games. Okay, let's just skip all that and get into the game. See if we can turn the volume up using the options. Options. Yeah, we are pretty much at full volume. Okay. Let's get into the game. It's gotta be Blaze, hasn't it? Oh, I do like this. This is good fun. And which one's fire? There it is. Who's shooting me? There he is. Dead. So there we have it. That is the BittBoy, a very small and capable device that can play many different systems pretty well. In fact, some of the games very, very well. Now, you may be wondering, but it can't play Super Nintendo games. I think that's probably down to the emulator that was pre-installed on the MicroSD card on this particular version I was sent. But yeah, since this runs on the Dingo operating system, you should be able to install a different Super Nintendo emulator that will work much better. Maybe the same for PlayStation, who knows. But why not just play Game Boy games on it? As you can see, they look really good there. Look at that. Pretty nice. Plays Game Boy games perfectly, and it looks like a Game Boy after all. In fact, this one's better than the real Game Boy because you can play it in the dark. And if you really want, the emulator also has a screen blur. Whoops, nearly dropped it. The emulator also has a screen blurring option, so you can get that authentic blurry feel. Okay, so yes, this is currently selling for around about $39. It usually sells for about $50, but whatever the case is, it's a good price for the very capable